Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Big Jiu-Jitsu Show. I'm Rob,
I'm Randy.
and we've got another guest for you this week. He wants to talk already. That's fine. We have Mr. Carson Quinene on the show. You may know him from his YouTube channel, Carsa. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu content creator. He's from the area. He's moved across the country to go. I guess go. Well, you can explain that better than I can since you're the one doing it. But hey, Carson, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Appreciate you guys having me.
Of course. So, as usual, we have to ask everybody.
hmm
You do martial arts. How'd you get started in it? And what has brought you up to this point?
Yeah. I guess the funny story of how I kind of started jiu-jitsu. I was in high school. My high school girlfriend, she had these like wrestling friends, and I knew one day we were gonna like fight or wrestle or something like that. And one of their birthdays was like within the next few days, and it was like a pool party of some sorts. So I knew like we are gonna get outside and we are gonna wrestle. So the day before that, I went online and I found like two jiu-jitsu moves, and it was the sumigashi and the triangle choke. So we get out there and they're like, "Hey, like let's wrestle." And I was like, "All right, let's do it." So we shake hands, and then I knew they were gonna take me down, obviously, because the wrestlers and I have no background in grappling. So I let them take me down. The first guy, as he's taking me down, I like grab his head and I just throw him over my head with the sumigashi. And then next guy takes me down and submits me with something. I don't know. And then same guy again takes me down and I put him in a triangle choke. And it was like such a bad triangle choke, but we made it work. And after that, like a few months go by, me and my girlfriend ended up breaking up. And then I had so much time on my hands and I was like, I gotta find something to do. So I found open guard jujitsu down in Apex, North Carolina, started there. And yeah, I've been training since 2021 of January 2021.
Nice. Yeah, I did laugh a little bit when you said like we broke up and I had all this free time. I feel like it's a staple of a lot of the people who do martial arts. Is like I found all this time to train 6 days a week magically when I didn't have somebody like I was involved with. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Well, now
yeah.
my girlfriend trains, so we're going to Open Mat in about an hour, so it worked out pretty well.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. So you're up in Seattle now, training. I just blew up your spot, so everybody
Yeah,
has
yeah,
to be on the lookout for you. What made you move up there? School, like content, like what? If you don't mind me asking.
yeah, yeah. Another girl, she got a job at Amazon, so I ended up following up here. But the year before we moved, she had an internship, and I ended up coming up here for about 3 weeks, or sorry, 2 weeks. So I trained at the gym that I'm at now, which is Mat Chess, and I was like, man, these guys are so good. Um, everyone there, everyone here kicked my ass, and I was like, there was a small little Asian woman. Her name's Sen, and she beat the hell out of. Can I cuss?
Yeah, absolutely. We do
Beat
all the
the
time on this.
shit out of me, bro.
All right.
Like, submitted me maybe 10 times in a 5 minute round. And at like halfway through the round, I'm like, all right, you know what? I never try to like spaz out on women, but we're just gonna go for it. And I tried my absolute hardest and I got stomped on. So I was like, I don't know what you guys are teaching these people up here, but I gotta learn it. So you know, come back to North Carolina. She was like, I have to move. So I ended up coming across the country, which was really awesome. I made so many connections with so many different people on the way up here. Um, and yeah, ended up moving to Seattle. But in terms of like the connections, like one thing I would say for upcoming jiu-jitsu athletes and people that are like starting content creation of some sorts, connections are everything. Like I met this guy, his name's Callan, like one of the coolest people I've ever met in the sport. He lives in Montana. And on the way up to Seattle, we stopped at his gym. It's called Trap House BJJ. First of all, the coolest gym name I think I've ever heard in my life. And then I ended up meeting him, and a year after I had moved up, I went back to Missoula, Montana. His buddy took me up in an airplane. He let me fly an airplane. We did jiu-jitsu on a mountain, trained, camped. It was awesome. And like I met this guy for like an hour on a road trip one day. And then he gave me all these amazing experiences. So I have more stories on that later too. But yeah, so did a cross country trip up to Seattle, and I've been here for now 2 years. So it's I love it up here though.
I do like Seattle a lot. I've been there a couple times, so like
Mhm.
I will say, not even jiu-jitsu related. Probably the best sushi I've had was at Japanese out there. I just had a great time.
The
So
sushi is amazing out here. Yeah, I go to like the fancier Whole Foods. It's called Met Market, and I get like a $15 sushi platter. It's not like restaurant quality, but it's like a home cooked meal.
excellent.
Yeah.
Well, and you did when you were doing that traveling cross country to get to Seattle. Yeah, I know you posted a bunch of videos, a bunch of
Mhm.
content about your journey, and it looked like a super cool experience. I mean, all the different schools you got to experience and
Yeah.
train with, and the people you got to meet, and undoubtedly what you got to learn. And if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, the cross country trip, like I said, Callan was a really good connect, and Trap House. I've been to a Trap House like twice now, and they're just amazing people. Like that's one of my favorite gyms in the world, and one of my favorite cities in the world. Um, I also went and hung out with another big YouTuber. His name's Tyler Spangler, so I was able to make some videos with him, and that's where a lot of people recognize me from. They're like, "Oh, you're that like cocky blue belt from Tyler Spangler's channel," because this guy he put the camera on me, and he's like, be the worst person you can be right now, and just be super like arrogant and cocky. So the camera gets on me, and I'm like, "Yeah, this black belt he sucks. He's not that good," and then everyone believed it, and that's kind of where a lot of my following came from initially because that video got like 200,000 views and it's just me talking trash. But I made a lot of connections on that trip and like visited a lot of cool places. Uh, so I don't know, that trip was awesome. I've done like the cross country from North Carolina up to Seattle, and then I did another one from like Seattle across Canada to Banff, and that was one of the coolest trips I've ever done. Um, Again, just the connections. Like I met this at one point we were on a mountain. It was snowing and we're hiking up to this tea house like 4 miles deep into the mountain. And we get tea. We meet this Greek lady, and then we meet this Asian lady, and then there's this tea house in the mountains, and then we come back down, and then they take us to like a burger spot, and then a hot spa or a hot uh like a hot pool. I forget what
Like a
it's
hot
called.
springs?
Like a hot spring. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I like just the coolest part about like traveling and doing all these things is just the people I meet and the connections I make. And like yeah, I'd say like if we're getting into that, like the coolest connection I've made and the biggest change in my life was meeting this guy named Ben Kovacs. So Ben is the GM of Flow Grappling, and he's also the founder of Guardian, which is this nonprofit organization. They work with Craig and CGI, and they're building gyms all around the world for kids. It's a really amazing program. Um, and Ben has completely altered the my life path. So like starting the content stuff, I didn't really know like where I was gonna go with it. Ended up like getting a bit of a following, and then throughout this year. It's been like consistent, but it hasn't really exploded. And I feel like I was like always searching for that big break, and I didn't know like how I was gonna get there. Ben ended up coming along. He messaged me on Instagram. He's like, "Hey, I like your stuff. Like, let's work together with Guardian." So they ended up like bringing me down to Peru and showing me their gym there. They just built a brand new facility for the Peru kids. It's this huge gym in the middle of the town. It's amazing. And like from there, they've just given me so many opportunities and experiences. He got me on WNO, the biggest jujitsu, one of the biggest jujitsu cards in the world, like just completely insane. And then just recently, I did like a full circuit. I went to Baltimore to visit one of the Guardian gyms, and then I went to CGI and worked the Guardian booth there. So like the amount of opportunities that I've gotten from this guy is insane. He's completely changed my life, and just so many awesome experiences have come out from this one connection. So one of the big things that I always think about with content creation and uh, things like that, it's like my videos, I don't need to get like a million views. I just need to get like one guy that can watch this, be like, man, this is really awesome. And then that connection will bring you a lot of really awesome experiences.
Yeah,
I just
it's
went completely off topic there. I don't
no, it's fine.
know.
It's funny because like I brought it up briefly before we started the episode, but when I started the podcast, and what's funny too is Randy actually was somewhat of an early guest on the show, like way back in the day. It's just funny how it all works out that way. But I was a blue belt when I started this, and the original co-host Sean was a white belt. And we kind of joked around. I was like, who really wants to hear the opinion of a blue belt and a white belt about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? But we kind of just said fuck it and just did it anyways, and it seemed to like actually go pretty well. Like you talk about, like you find some of those connections, and then
Right.
you talk to those people. What are some of the challenges? I'm just curious to hear like what your challenges were kind of starting out, as well as like why the fuck is a white belt or a blue belt making content for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when you have all these people that are black belts? Like if you pull up Instagram reels, like I'm gonna bitch here for a second, pull up Instagram reels and you're watching black belts do some of the like most low percentage shit on
Hmm.
non, like that's my biggest pet peeve. They're like, check out this deadly move. And I'm like, this person's not even resisting. Like you're just gonna stack you and crush. But anyways, but like you have all this. How do you get like what were your goal? Well, you say you didn't have goals. Oh my God, let me try to rephrase this. What were the challenges you faced when you first started this as compared to like dealing, like going up against maybe possibly like a sea of content from higher ranks and possibly dealing with some of the adversity of that?
Yeah. So, I mean, the biggest challenge is no one respects you. And it's kind of warranted, you're a white or blue belt. I mean, there were so many things that I'm like, man, I really had no idea what I was talking about in this video. But I will say, like, uh, when I started, there was not an influx of creators. Like, I was kind of in that beginning, like Tyler and Jordan, those are like the biggest jiu-jitsu YouTubers. And jiu-jitsu, like they all got in super, super early, and I was kind of that next wave. And after myself and after like another year or two, that's when the huge wave of jiu-jitsu content creators started coming in. So I didn't really like there weren't a lot of people in the content space just yet. So I got in pretty early, but yeah, one of the biggest challenges is like I had so many people in my comment section being like, blue belt shouldn't teach. Like, why does this blue belt have instructionals? Who are you? And it's like, look, dude, like you don't want to buy it, but I have 10 other people that are paying me like, $10, $15 a month for it. So, um, yeah, just one of the biggest challenges is like people don't really respect what you say, even if you're right. Like there are things that, I was preaching as a blue belt that still now preaching as a purple belt. And I've seen other big, large name black belts do the same or like uh, teach the same things. So yeah, one of the that was one of the biggest challenges. But I think like you don't really have a lot to like lose in a sense. Like as a blue and white belt, you want to be teaching as early as possible because by the time you get your black belt, you need to have that skill. And if a black belt or if someone's like preaching, oh, only black belts should teach, well, by the time they get their black belt, they're going to be pretty bad teachers if they have not already been training that skill. So like they can be super, super good at a technique, but they don't know how to communicate it. And that's one of the really big things that I've been working on this year as I've progressed my way into teaching more. And I've taught a few seminars now. It's just like, how do I communicate this information as clearly as possible to my audience and to people watching me? That way they can consume it and then apply it. And I feel like that sentence there, you need to be thinking about that well before you get your black belt. Because by the time you get your black belt, like you want to have this built up. That way you can go make money and teach seminars and private lessons. Because there's a lot of black belts out there that can't explain what they're doing and why they're doing it. And like that's one of the biggest challenges for those people, because they wanted to be so stoic when they were lower belts and they want to put themselves out there. They don't want to like get called out. They don't want to give their opinion, and now they can't teach and they can't make money off of this thing. So I like it's one of those things where you just kind of got to bite the bullet, take the heat for a bit, and prove yourself a little bit more. And it worked out for me. So yeah, hopefully by the time I'm a black belt, I can live off the sport, teaching seminars, traveling, and I'm kind of already doing that, but unsustainably.
And well, I think too, people can relate to the journey that you're on in a sense. You know, you've got these rare opportunities, which is a testament to your hard work, and like you said, you're making connections and all of that. And contrary to some of the popular content, you're actually a super humble guy. I know that from knowing you, but I think people relate to the journey of a blue belt because a lot of people spend a lot of time there. And some people, that's the end of their jiu-jitsu journey at blue belt. We see that a lot. Not everybody commits to it to get all the way to black belt or brown belt. So I think there's a relatability piece. And I think you have a really good gift to be able to articulate and explain the way you do. I mean, I've seen a lot of content and I agree with what Rob said, regardless of belt rank. I mean, you've got some world-class black belts that have content that yeah, they're capable of phenomenal things, but being able to explain those things and do them are not the same. And I think you have a knack for being able to break down a video and explain it in clear and concise terms in a pace that people can pick up on and understand. It's very digestible content, and I think that's why there's this like gravity to the stuff you're posting. That's something that I've noticed from very early on. It just keeps getting better because obviously you're growing in jiu-jitsu, but you're also growing in your digital media, your platform.
Yeah,
I think that's what sets you apart, in my opinion.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean that's again like that's part of the. Had I started that now, I would have had to build up to that, but I started that
Hmm.
as a white belt.
Hmm.
So like I've been building that skill for a very long time, and my earlier videos, it would literally just be like, I think this, um, yeah, so you do this, and I would just like so many ums and so many likes and so many, you know, but eventually like I started building a stronger ability to communicate that those things. And now I feel very comfortable being able to explain my jiu-jitsu and explain why I'm doing this. And that's one of the biggest skills that I've picked up. And
You,
one of the most important skills because that's the money making skill.
no, you're right. I was going to ask, do you ever go back and just watch your old stuff, or like after you put something out, do you listen to it? Do you watch it? And, do the whole oh my god, why the hell did I say that? Or here's the dead air here. Like I do that all the time just to make sure we maintain like some level of
Yeah.
like
My
not professionalism, but like entertainment. I guess is the best way to
yeah.
put it. Keep people engaged.
My dad's favorite pastime with family is whenever we're in a room, he puts on one of my old videos that I did with him. So it was like son versus dad. And back then, like, you're trying to find yourself and find where you fit into this content space. So my videos, like my match commentaries are very mellow now. I'm just talking like this, just explaining myself. I'm not trying to make it entertaining anymore. I just want to communicate better information. But back then it used to be, so today, me and my dad, we're gonna be fighting for the last slice of pizza. And I was like so animated and just so not me. And he loves that video because it's with him. But oh my God, it's like not my least favorite, but it's just like the worst like social media influencer stuff I've ever seen myself
Yeah.
do. It's a hard watch for me.
It it is interesting because like I'll go back and listen to some old episodes to do like how did we evolve? How did we get here? Because honestly, like we've been this podcast has been around minus the great COVID blackout period that we had. Doing this since 2014, and
Oh wow.
we used to do a trivia game at the end of it, and actually, it was fucking awful. Like looking back, it was the dumbest shit I could have done for this show. I was just like, see who has like the highest ranks. So I mean, we did like an award show one year. We had like we were doing 2 episodes a week. It was awful.
Oh
Like
wow.
it's not. I feel like at least for podcasting and jujitsu, you may. I'm open to any opinions on it as well, especially, me and Randy talk about this quite a bit. Like we do an episode every 2 weeks because we want to make sure it's quality. We want to make sure, it's something that is you can listen to, I guess is the best way to put it, as opposed to trying to swamp people with 1,000 episodes. Because it used to be we would do an interview and a regular just chatting episode every week. and
Hmm.
it got to be so much,
Yeah.
especially like so people who put out a lot of content, like I have a lot of respect for them because I understand like what the grind is. Me and Randy have done every week episodes. It's just I think like you're talking about finding that space, finding what works best for you and being true to that is kind of what makes the content something people want to watch because like you say, you got the social media like, hey guys, today I'm going to be fighting Randy and we're going to be able to fish hook and eye gouge in the middle of this match, like, and you're never going to believe who wins this match. Like
You
that's
got a good voice.
thanks. That's it's because I see it a lot. I mean, that's what the algorithm is, but I don't want to
Yeah.
be the algorithm.
Hmm.
I want to be the punk rock type podcast where we ask the weird questions and the tough questions.
Yeah.
I've heard how many stories do you hear about people do, what did it feel like when you won your world championship? How many times is that asked
Yeah.
in like podcasts? Like, we ask or we try to. We do I especially I'm so bad at it. Fall into a little bit of ass kissing, but it's
Hmm.
also I have a little bit of, fanboy and whatever. But it's when you find yourself, I think that's truly when your content really starts to blow up, or at
Yeah.
least you get some good traction and people know that you're genuine.
Yeah. And for me, it was like, at first I was trying to copy Tyler Spangler and I wanted to make videos like him. That wasn't really me though. And then I wanted outside of the jiu-jitsu niche, there was this guy named Peter McKinnon. His very videos were very like heartfelt and very sentimental and like very slow and very like they were genuine, but it just also wasn't really like my personality. And then, I stumbled across this guy named Kelly Wakasa, and his videos are like these vlog videos, but they're really fun and always like upbeat, and they're very genuine. And that's kind of when I started finding my style. And I moved away from like, the entertaining match commentaries, and I'm starting to put out more videos that are more vlog and more like personal and more travel jujitsu. And like I said, you don't have to reach a million views. You just have to reach like one guy that can change your life. And for me, it's been working out. Like the idea is like making videos that matter to me is the most important. And since I've adopted that mindset, my videos have gotten a lot better. Um, the opportunities have opened up a lot more. So it's been working out really well.
Yeah, I like the vlogs a lot. I think that's a really good format for you,
Yeah.
especially because you get to do so many cool things and all
Mhm.
these opportunities. It's like perfectly timed for
Yeah.
the opportunities you got coming up.
Yeah. Like
So, oh,
oh,
go ahead.
go
Oh,
ahead.
no, 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 you go ahead, please. You're the guest.
Oh, oh no, no. I was just gonna say like in terms of that, I just went to like August was huge. I went to North Carolina for a week and trained at TFTC, Open Guard, and I went down to Garami.
Mhm.
Garami is incredible. I'm gonna try like the three videos I have scheduled for the next few months is a CGI, which is gonna come out hopefully this Friday. Just kind of my experience sneaking into CGI. That was fun. And then gonna release Garami, training jiu-jitsu in the dark with, Greg, who's just this like military, like Viking leader blasting David Goggins and drums as we sprawl and like roll for an hour. And then we have the Jiu-Jitsu Gym Taco Shop, which is Guardian's Baltimore location. And it's really, really cool and interesting concepts. And I'm really excited to put those out within these next few months.
So looking back at your WNO experience, talk a little bit about that. That was pretty cool because I feel like it was what, two content creators going at it, and
Yeah.
obviously you won your match, which was awesome. I watched it; it was really good. It looked sharp as hell. But tell us a little bit about that experience.
Yeah. So again, like Ben, just trying to trying to make dreams come true, trying to put people on. Um, I met when we were in Peru, who's like, how would you feel about getting on a WNO card? I was like, that's crazy. That would be a funny joke, haha. And then later he was like, find another guy and we can make it happen. So I ended up contacting Ryan Giuliano, another big jiu-jitsu content creator now. And it's really cool because me and Ryan, we met at this jiu-jitsu retreat in Trinidad Tobago. Or sorry, everyone's gonna get on me for butchering that. We met in this jiu-jitsu retreat in Tobago. I thought Trinidad and Tobago were like Same thing. They're kind of separate. So we met in Tobago. Um, it's an island in the Caribbean, and it was a jiu-jitsu retreat, and we ended up hanging out for pretty much the entire trip, and we got pretty close. And then, it was only a week, so we parted ways, kept up with each other, watching his videos, seeing him online, and then we ended up coming back for WNO. So it was me and Ryan, two people that were the smallest of the YouTubers in this jiu-jitsu retreat. There was Tyler Spangler, Jordan, and Jedi. No idea where he went, but it was like us five, and me and Ryan collectively had under like 10K, or maybe even under like 6 to 8K. And I was over him in subscribers at this time. As soon as that trip ended, he makes like four videos and he blasts up to like 60K, and I'm still stuck around like 2,000 followers. So fuck you, Ryan. That pissed me off. That day I saw your subscriber count hit over mine. Oh, I was mad. But um, no, really, really down to earth, cool, really cool guy. So we ended up coming together in WNO, and it's one of those things where people don't really respect us. First of all, we're like a blue and purple belt that aren't in the competitive scene at the world level, and we're content creators, which just puts another like you have the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson stuff. It's
Mhm.
like who are these guys coming onto a professional jiu-jitsu card? And like I was talking to Jocko Willink about it actually. He was like, I thought they were gonna send two knuckleheads out there and you guys were just gonna bump heads and roll around on the mat, but you guys you were impressive. Good job. And I'd like to think we were one of, if not the most entertaining match of the night. And one thing that Ryan and I talked about, it's like it's one thing to be good, but we just saw CGI with the top athletes in the world, and they're so good that they can almost be boring sometimes because you just can't get anything going on them. Whereas Ryan and I, like, it was like back and forth the entire match. And you know, that made for a really interesting and great matchup and great for the viewers because it was very action packed. We went into legs, we passing, wrestling. We had both like some, solid attacks on each other. So, um, yeah, WNO was like just insane. Like the professionalism of flow grappling. Like I remember getting my flow grappling picture taken, and like I would always see, these big name athletes with the flow uh profile picture, and I was like, fuck, I want that one day. We were able to make it happen. But it was just so cool. And one of the things I did there, actually, I dressed up in the Ash Ketchum costume from Pokemon, had the Pokemon theme song as my walkout music, and that was just so cool because like when I was younger, I was like, I want to be a Pokemon trainer one day. And obviously, living in reality, that doesn't exist. But I was able to, kind of live out that dream and make that happen in some capacity. And all the kids came up to me after and they were like, "Oh my God, like what's your favorite Pokemon?" And like it was just so cool to like kind of be in that position to inspire, a younger generation and connect with them in that way. And it's just cool that I get to stay true to my younger self as well and kind of live out my 8-year-old self dream. I like saying that a lot, but I think that's really, really cool. Because it was like such a big part of my life when I was younger. It was like always a thing. And now it's like I've grown up and I've kind of accomplished that 8-year-old dream. So yeah, WNO is insane.
I like that story. So I was gonna like you talk about being inspiring and stuff, and kind of I want to loop it back to something we talked about or you'd mentioned earlier is like kind of not having a real direction when you started doing content creation. I think, that's a roadblock I ran into myself. Like, what the hell are we doing? What do you see yourself doing? Because, it's this people can absolutely just stop doing it. Like, you'll see it all the time. Like, one of my favorite podcasts from back in the day, Jiu-Jitsu After Dark, and they'd always mention like, you're gonna know the podcast is over because we're just gonna stop posting and you'll never hear from us again. And sure enough, like as long as from what I'm tracking, that's exactly what happened.
Oh, wow.
And so like you can just quit. However, I always feel like there's like ways forward and kind of what you want to see and what you want to do. And what is the direction you kind of want to see yourself as outside of, making this a sustainable thing where, you're a black belt, you're teaching, you're making money, doing traveling, doing exactly what you love. But for the content, what do you hope to kind of bring in the future with that
Yeah,
to
so I
everybody?
like I like to think my where I stand out in the jiu-jitsu community, I want to say I'm one of, if not the only person that's making jiu-jitsu vlogs on YouTube. You have all these big names that are like making these match commentaries, or they're teaching and they're making educational content or making entertaining content. But my goal as a content creator in the jiu-jitsu space is to give the viewer an experience. I want to take them along with the cool things that I'm doing, right? So in terms of like content, like I want to make videos and tell stories that people can experience with me, because when I was like trying to figure out where I fit in, I would watch a lot of YouTube content of people that personalities that I liked, and they're doing cool things, and I want to go and experience that. And I actually ran into feeling very envious of some of those people, like Ryan. Ryan, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I didn't watch your videos because I was so envious. Like I want to do that. I want to do what you're doing. And because I haven't figured out how to do that yet, I'm gonna get like envious and jealous of people that are doing it already, you know? So now after I've kind of found my space, it's a little easier to watch these other people experience all these cool things. Um, and like I want to give that experience to people, you know? Like my favorite video, it was the one I made in Peru with Guardian. And I ended up working with this guy named Jesse, one of my really, really good friends. He works for Vando Jiu-Jitsu, makes very similar vlogs, and I really like his style because he goes to the grappling industries or local jiu-jitsu tournaments, and he makes them so fun and entertaining. And it's because of the people that just like there's all these different personalities, and you feel like you're there with them, and you feel like you're you know sitting on the sidelines with them, watching them compete, and the energy is really good, and you just feel really good, and you just walk away, you get up, you know, go wash your dishes after eating and watching YouTube, and you feel like and you remember that a few days later or a year later. There are videos on YouTube that I remember from like 5 years ago because it gave me an experience. So that's kind of my trajectory that I want to go with, is just giving the viewer an experience and kind of showcasing all the cool things that the jiu-jitsu community has uh, offered me, and all the cool experiences that I've been able to do because of the community. And that's where I want to go. Like with the Guardian stuff, visiting the Jiu-Jitsu gym taco shop, visiting the gym that trains in the dark, visiting CGI and my experience there, and kind of bringing my audience along for that. That's the goal.
I think it's great because I think you give people insight into other opportunities and other things that exist
Hmm.
in jiu-jitsu besides just going to the gym every day,
Hmm.
which nothing wrong with that. And we all, the three of us, obviously have a deeply rooted love for the art and for the sport. But jiu-jitsu can take you other places, and there are things that are adjacent to it that can be experienced and enjoyed. And I think I look at martial arts as a whole as a way of life. I mean, I've been doing it since I was a little kid. I know it's the same with you, and it's the same with Rob. We've been doing this for so long that there are things there are like components of it that exist in other areas of our life as well. And so I think it's cool because you see people that come into jiu-jitsu in the beginning, they're like, I don't really know what this is about. I just want to try it out and see if I like it. And
Hmm.
and I think we talked about it earlier, kind of going back to the conversation about blue belts, purple belts, make white belts making content and their place in all of this. Well, the place in all this is that people come in as white belts. Everybody starts in the same place, and everybody has to come up through that steep learning curve that we all experienced. But there's so much more to jujitsu than just going to class, doing your training, getting smashed, going home, hating life, and come back and rinse and repeat. There's so many things, and I think that's good because I think that'll keep people in it for longer if they know that there are opportunities that exist within jiu-jitsu, that there are unique gyms that have totally different vibes in
Hmm.
them. TFTC has its vibe. You brought up Garami and their vibe, and all these cool places you've gone. We still have to talk about the coffee shop one because that's paramount. But there's all these unique places in the world that you can go travel to and experience. And jiu-jitsu can give you all of that. You just got to stick
Hmm.
with it. So I love it, dude. I love watching the journey.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
All right, so he mentioned the coffee shop gym.
Right.
Like, I'll tell you, like I know, I've seen the shirts, coffee and jiu-jitsu, whatever. Yeah, dude, you got the coffee right now. What I'm Well, I'm saying I'm just gonna give my whole like impression of it. I blame Brian Mingy for this, but he was my first jiu-jitsu coach, and I swear to God, that guy had a cup of coffee like all the time. And I'm like,
Mhm.
these two things go together, and they sure as hell do, actually. So I want to hear about like whatever Randy has talked about. I want to know
Yeah.
about this coffee shop jiu-jitsu thing.
Yeah. So this is one of the coolest fun facts about me that I love to tell people. So my house is here, my coffee shop is here, my gym is here, and my weightlifting gym is here. So, and my physical therapy gym or spot is coming soon. They're building it right now. Um, so I'm in this little bubble in Seattle where I kind of just have everything I need right at my fingertips, and the people around me are so amazing. So start off with the coffee shop. The coffee shop and gym is owned by the same couple, and it's a coffee shop on top and then a gym in the basement. So Match S is where I train at, and we have Seattle Sunshine on top. So I always get coffee there. Um, and then I go train under below. So um, it's just a really, really cool dynamic. It's something that, I think they stole from me indirectly because I definitely wanted to do that at some point. And I don't know who had the idea first. I know they like kind of did it first, but I like to think that I had the idea before them, even though they've been in the sport like twice as long. But so we have the coffee shop, the gym, and then right across the street we have Project 40th, which is my weightlifting gym. Really, really cool guys over there. Um, and then right next to that is a physical therapy office that's opening, and I'm really cool with the lady over there. So, I kind of have everything I need to like be the greatest I can be. And it's a really cool little bubble. And I'm just super, super grateful to like kind of be in this position when me and my ex-girlfriend broke up while I was moved in Seattle. This apartment opened up in like 3 days, 3 to 4 days after. So I was like living at my ex's like apartment for a week or so. And then this place opened up. And with 0 days listed on the market, it had 35 contacts already. So I sped over here as fast as I could. I was like, I'll take it. Like right now. How do I get this? And luckily I got it. And it's just been so incredible. And my favorite part is I have a roof. So I don't know if I'm allowed to be up there. I hope they don't see this, but if I open my window, I can crawl out onto the roof, and I have a picture perfect view of Mount Rainier in the back.
Oh, nice.
Sunsets. I'm eating like dinner as I play guitar, and the Muay Thai people are leaving the gym at that point, so I'm screaming at them from on the roof. It's a really fun life. Yeah.
I mean, how much better does it get than to live basically right above a jiu-jitsu and a coffee shop? Right,
Yeah, and
right.
I've been to Daisy Fresh. I don't have to sleep on the mats, thank God. So it's like I really lucked out on that.
I mean, that's like you talk about like, yeah, you gotta hate people. Like, I gotta hate you now, man. I really do. Like, I thought I was living a life. I got like a little fire table on my patio, and I'll occasionally eat like my dinner out there and just fight the bugs. But that's I think the rooftop in Seattle might
I,
be
I I get that a
maybe.
lot. They're like, "Fuck you, dude."
Yeah.
I would be
You know,
I would be mad at myself too.
you know what it is, dude? We're not we're the NPCs in this world, bro. He's just the main character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so how often I gotta throw it out there because I've seen the videos. I mean, you got that gym around the corner, but I mean, how often do you actually squat?
Squat. Oh man. There's a my one of the weightlifting coaches there. Every time I do a leg day, he takes a video of me and he's like, Carson's one leg day a month. Honestly, I haven't been in there in like 2 months. I just got back from like all the crazy traveling and stuff from August. And then before that, we had a kids camp over the summer. So I was like pretty wrapped
Oh,
up in that and like trying to get out all these insane videos that I did over the summer. So like I was off of training and out of weightlifting for like probably the most inconsistent I've been since I started jujitsu, just because like you got so busy with like work and also like teaching, but I wasn't
Mhm.
training myself and like trying to put out content and balance. And honestly, like that was one of the biggest turning points within this last week and this last month is learning how to balance my content alongside my training. And for people that are looking to get into content, this is one of the most important pieces of information I can give you. So you're starting content, you're starting jiu-jitsu, you're probably a lower belt looking to work your way up, or maybe even you're a higher belt, a black belt looking to get into content and also balance your training. So here's the thing. You're doing YouTube, you're doing social media, and you're training. And like you have to figure out how to balance that. And like it's so important. And I guess the way that I did it is I I have someone that holds the camera as I'm teaching, and I just go around, I act myself, I help people. You're looking for three types of things: education, entertainment, or experience. But in this case, the more value you can give people within entertainment or education is going to be very, very strong in a social media sense. So I go and I have someone sit down and record me teaching the kids class. And then I go and I cut that up. And then those are my reels for like the next 2 or 3 weeks. Right. And then I can focus on the bigger projects and I can also focus on my training. But you need to have something consistent, something genuine that you can share with the audience. And from there, like learning to balance your content schedule and your training schedule is like very important. I don't know if I really covered that exactly how I wanted to, but that was a big struggle for me. Like all of July, it was like just scrambling, trying to figure out how to like train and get the videos out that I need to and meet my deliverables. It was a lot, but I figured it out now, so I have a consistent video schedule and I can consistently train. So content has gotten a lot better. The life, the fire has died down a lot.
Yeah, the even just putting stuff out, even if it's bad, like it's still practice. So I mean, I
Mhm.
likened it to doing taekwondo. Like you think your form looks good, it could look like shit, but if you do it enough, eventually it looks good. Like
Yeah.
that's basically like the way I took it when we started. Like if I do this enough, like it'll be good. It'll be good. Like originally I laugh about this on occasion too. The setup for the podcast was in a kitchen with a electronic keyboard as the power for the microphone that I was routing through a laptop that was recording straight into Audacity, and it sounded fucking awful. But we put an episode out every week, and we
Yeah.
got better at talking, and everything improved.
Yeah.
Um,
And I like to add to that, like
yeah.
this is I guess what I was trying to say. Like
Okay.
if you want to do stuff like I don't mean to sound like pretentious, but if you want to like do what I'm doing in terms of content and training, the biggest things that help me is starting. Don't wait to start. You need to start now because just like we talked about with like developing that teaching skill as a black belt, you don't want to start once you're already like know what you're doing because you're not going to know what you're doing and you're going to try to figure it out. But you want to do it. You want to make all those mistakes as a white belt. So by the time you get your black belt, you're good, you know? So like when you're like, I want to start jiu-jitsu content creation, make the Instagram account, make the YouTube channel, put out one video, and then like you just need to put them out there because you're gonna make mistakes. Your first video is probably gonna be shit. It's probably not gonna be good because I know mine was so bad. So you need to learn and make mistakes as fast as possible. So you just need to put something out there. That way you get the experience, you know what to do better next time, and your next video will be better. And then in terms of like training, record yourself because oh my God, had I not recorded myself, I would have never known that I look so weird and awkward passing. And now thank God I did. Like your goal for jujitsu should be to try and look as cool as possible. I
Hell
know that
yeah.
sounds weird, but you want like when I started focusing on like how do I look and do I look like sick when I'm doing jujitsu, my jujitsu got better because you get sharper and you look like your movement starts to look better because you're focusing on making it look better. So I would say record yourself and try to look cool.
I kind
Like
of
that.
I'm terrified of recording myself now. Like I don't know how cool I look. Hopefully I look pretty fucking cool, but now I'm self-conscious.
You should put that on a shirt though. Record yourself and make yourself look cool.
Yeah.
Hey, there's some merch, free
I
merch
mean,
idea for you.
cause like I would watch myself back and I'm like, man, I look really like I'm on my knees, like kind of off balance, like looking really weird. And then I was like, all right, I need to like tripod up and adjust my weight better. And then I look cooler and then my technique is actually improving. So that's why.
Damn, that's good advice, and I'm probably going to take that to heart a little bit too because got all the video equipment in the house still. But Carson, I do appreciate you coming on the show, man. This has been a really awesome interview. Like I'm really glad you came on, and thank you so much for your time. Before we head out, though, can you please tell everybody where they can find you?
Yeah, so you can find me at Carsa on Instagram and YouTube, Carsahh, Carsa, not Carsa, even though a lot of people
That's
call
my
me that.
bad. That's on me. I thought it was.
No, everyone does it. Everyone does it. I get it. It was just catchy. I thought it sounded cool. And yeah, so I went with that one. I hope I was able to talk clearly on there. It's a little early for me on a Sunday morning. So
You live
yeah,
right near a coffee shop, bro.
I
I don't
do.
want to
I
hear
do.
about early mornings.
All right, I got to consume this whole thing until I wake up.
No, is that a cold brew or what is that? Iced
Cold
coffee?
brew.
Cold?
Cold
Yeah, I
brew.
figured I recognize some cold brew. I love coffee, man. May have a project in the background that's just kind of sitting there until I can get some shit squared away and
Yeah.
that blends coffee and jiu-jitsu, and I'll
Oh, that'd be
definitely
cool.
bring you in the fray on that when it comes to
Yeah, yeah,
fruition. But
absolutely.
where else? So you got Carsaw on YouTube, anywhere else?
That's it. Yeah, Carsa, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Trying to get TikTok up a little bit more, so that'd be cool.
That's the one realm we haven't dove into. Just I feel like I mean, if you can't tell by the beard, probably I'm not built for TikTok. It's
Freaking
I
TikTok,
I
man.
wasn't either. I was like, I'm just gonna stick to YouTube and Instagram. My friend showed me how much he was making off TikTok, and I was like, oh my God, what have I been missing out on?
damn, damn.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the only reason I do this for the podcast is to fill my gap of like I need my recognition. I'm kidding. I just do. We do it because we love it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
no,
yeah,
but for what you're doing, absolutely, completely understand
mhm,
that. So that makes sense.
yeah.
But seriously, Carson, thank you so much for coming on, man. And
Thank you guys for having me.
of course. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been another episode of the Big Jiu Jitsu Show. I'm Rob,
I'm Randy.
and we'll catch you guys next time.